Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're at episode 130 of Overdose and Chill. Overdose and Chill are our weekly commerce chats hosted by Overdose. We broadcast live over LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So feel free to ask questions along the way, and we'll get them answered for you, on the spot. So, just want to introduce who I am. My name is Tammy. I'm the general manager for Overdose Asia, based here in Singapore, and I'm hosting this session today. With me, I have my guest, Sean Siaf, Head of Omnichannel of Healthy Options, based in Manila, Philippines. So,
Morning.
firstly, morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me today.
Welcome, pleasure. So, Sean, could you tell us a little bit more about, what healthy options stand for, and what do you do in your role as head of omnichannel at Healthy Options?
Yes, of course. So, Healthy Options is a company that is a family business. We set up in 1995. We're growing strong now. We've got 33 stores, physical stores, and soon to be 34 around Q3 of this year. And we set up our online e-commerce site back in 2020 when the pandemic hit. So if you're unfamiliar with what we do, we sell health food products. So if you're familiar with Whole Foods, we're kind of like the Whole Foods of the Philippines. We specialize in supplements, natural grocery products, personal care, fresh produce, and more recently we have a gluten-free bakery as well.
That's awesome.
And so my role as head of omnichannel, I took this on when the pandemic started. So my aim is to continually improve the customer experience and try to bring offline to online. So we're very happy with how our customer service is in store, but it's quite a challenge to translate that to online, where it's a bit less personal.
I understand. So, let's talk about that. 33 physical stores, right? When the pandemic hit, that would have been a huge impact to your business and also to your customers not being able to come in store, because as we understand, with Healthy Options, it's not just coming into store to buy products. There is consultation and advice and things like that. So how have you, I guess, how did you manage that during the pandemic, that not being able to have that one-on-one personal touch in store?
Well, we're very lucky and we're very fortunate that during the pandemic we were able to continue operating. We were considered an essential business, so we were able to run, albeit with a skeleton crew. So not all stores were operational, but we're very happy that at least some stores were able to run. But yeah, like keeping a social distancing of about 2 meters, it didn't really work with a limited number of people out in the stores. So we did have to set up our e-commerce site. The pandemic started, the lockdown started in mid-March of 2020, and we managed to get our e-commerce site live in the beginning of April. So in 2 weeks, everyone scrambled. Big shout out to the team. We scrambled together and put up Shopify. So got
That's
everything.
amazing. Yeah, and since then, I guess you've been just continuing to grow the online store, and like you said, translating that in-store experience to online.
Mhm.
I think that definitely. I want to talk more a little bit about the business, because it's more than just a place to buy healthy food. You've got your vision as well, right? Which is around a healthier world for the Philippines. So do you want to just talk a little bit about that, about the Filipino diet, and how potentially disruptive, or in a good way, Healthy Options is there to make an impact on the diet of Filipinos?
But I think there isn't really anything too spectacularly different about the diet of Filipinos compared to the rest of Southeast Asia. But definitely, I think just as people are, I mean, we are a bit, maybe I'm talking about myself, we are a bit, a bit lazy. We don't really want to have an active lifestyle. It's a bit of work. And I mean, with the stresses of like day-to-day work, like not everyone can find time to do that. But we do, our vision is to help empower people to have a healthier life without costing the earth. So we provide people with the right foods and tools to be able to achieve that. So it's been a long journey for us for 28 years, and I think
Mm,
we can see a change in the market, definitely. And it's not just within the Philippines. I mean, the Philippines has strong ties with the US historically, so trends do translate over here, albeit maybe a few years later. But with the advance of like technology, like social media, I mean, things can go viral overnight, and we have seen that with some personal care products in the past.
right.
Mm.
Yeah, so talking about the products range that you stock, I mean, my understanding and what I've, come to understand, I've known of health, having worked with healthy options for a while now, is that you're really like a one-stop shop for all health-related goods, right? So it's, products ranging from supplements, grocery items, personal care, even farm produce, I think baked goods, and I also see like books and, beauty beauty products as well, right? So,
We try.
you sorry?
We try. We try to
Yeah,
have everything available so that you don't need to go anywhere else. It's all about convenience.
yeah. And I think the common denominator along all of this is around, natural, organic, and nutritious, or foods, but it's all around the natural and organic aspect. Is that
Mhm.
right? And I think that, I think I heard once in the conversations that, in terms of selection of products, you're very particular about the products that you do sell. Could you talk a little bit about that? Which ones, what are your criteria? I think that things around like unnecessary ingredients or artificial flavors and colors.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be specific, like we have a huge list of like banned ingredients. Like we do keep it very strict and controlled about that, especially around personal care. So when it's makeup products or like shampoo, and so like we're very particular about things like SLS or sodium lauryl sulfate. I don't know if people are familiar with that, but there are a lot of ingredients that are quite harsh on the body. So we always keep everything as much as possible organic. Well, but if it can't be organic, at least it's 100% natural. No artificial ingredients, no antibiotics, no artificial preservatives. We always have clean ingredients, so at least our customers can rely on us to know that if they see it on the shelf or they see it online available in healthy options, we've done the research for them, and we can say that this is safe for you to use, and it's also safe for the environment. That's something that we've taken on in the last few years, like with the focus on plastic, like in the ocean as well. So we're trying to move towards plastic-free packaging as much as possible.
Okay, that's great. That's great to hear. Yeah, and definitely impact that you're making, right? So environmentally, and also in terms of promoting perhaps more health awareness for your customers as well. And then speaking of your customers, they have sort of you've got different sort of customer profiles, really, right? So you sort of cater to there's your new moms, right? Because you have products that's for babies and for new moms. You've got growing families. You've got potentially the people with the active lifestyle and into fitness and keeping healthy. And then you've also got the folks who are potentially looking after older folks or older parents and sort of shopping for the household. Yeah, it's really was that the vision, or has that kind of evolved? Did you start with a certain sort of vision of who do you want to impact, and then how did that grow?
I think it just happened naturally. I think that we do have like multi-generational households in the Philippines,
Mm,
like, but yeah, the people that are more likely to be more in tune or aware of their health, I guess the slightly older generation. So I think I'm coming into that now, coming into 30, you feel, oh, there's new aches and pains everywhere. And then as time goes on, you gain an awareness of your health and you change
mm,
your lifestyle. And whether or not you directly influence or directly try to educate your kids or your parents, I think it does translate over to them subconsciously. So
Right.
I think that's what's been happening over the last few years as well.
Okay, that's cool. Um, yeah, I mean, healthy options you mentioned started in 1995. That's 28 years ago. It's a long time, right?
Mm.
So, have you maybe, I know you've joined and you've taken over more recently, but, could you share a little bit about maybe the changes in awareness around, among, your customers or Filipinos in general about the importance of, healthier lifestyle? And I think it ties in with, like you said, as people age, you start to become more aware, about health and environment and so forth. Are you seeing more uptake? Did you initially see potentially resistance? Were you a bit of a disruptor in the market? What trends have you seen or change have you seen at that time?
I think when we started, we definitely were a niche. I think people considered like health products to be a bit of a fad, surprisingly or funnily enough. But I don't know, like time time has shown, in hindsight, hindsight's 2020. Time has shown what's right and what's not a fad. But clearly, we're still here and we're growing strong. Um, in terms of the changes for our customers, I think we are seeing like a slight generational shift already. Like we are seeing more. I don't know if we still call them yuppies. Like maybe now, like the new generation of yuppies, like millennials, are coming in. We see baby boomers still are more likely to be. We cater a lot to baby boomers as well, but millennials are coming in as a strong market segment for us, like people who
Okay.
are more aware of their health. Yeah.
Okay, that's
And
cool. Yeah.
the new challenge are the Gen Zs.
You challenge the Gen Zs?
No, it's a new challenge to try and
It's
cater to Gen
yeah.
Zs. They're very TikTok savvy, social media savvy, and they love trends. But the thing is, your health isn't a trend. There's.
Yeah.
I think we've been successful because we've stuck to our values throughout these decades.
And how have you communicated or grown with these trends around social media, TikTok and whatnot, to communicate um, those values? Or have you found that keeping up with social media and the different platforms that are there to reach and engage your customers, which you, like you said, is your Gen Zs now?
Yeah, we meet our customers where they are. So we do have Facebook channels and IG channels.
Mm,
Not yet TikTok. I don't think people are quite interested in businesses when they look at TikToks, but we do try to promote the healthy lifestyle. Our focus is really on education for our customers in our communication. It's not a hard sell. It's just we educate you. This is what we have. This is why it's good for you. It's got clean ingredients, so it's not going to harm you or the planet. And that's been our focus for forever. So I think it's held true. We hold ourselves to high standards and we try to keep our integrity.
that's great. So great to hear and see and in action as well. Um, let's switch gears a little bit. Talking about consumer trends. How are you finding? You talked about social media, and that's how they seek information, potentially online or through social media. But how do you think? Pre and during and post pandemic, what are you seeing now? You started the online store during pandemic. Are you seeing now that post pandemic people are they still continuing to shop online because maybe they have got their certain products that is just repeat purchases, they know what they want? Or are you still seeing, people still love coming into your store because, having that face to face, that consult, coming in to pick up? I know you guys do a physical sort of news digest every 2 months, and it's like this magazine of sorts with articles and recipes. Are people still very much, enjoying that interaction in store, coming pick up that physical book?
Okay, let me break that down. Yeah, after the pandemic lifted, I think around about this time last year, restrictions were lifted and people were freely able to move about the whole country. Yeah, people seem to really want to get back into just the malls in general, but also into our stores. So we did see e-commerce was doing very well over the last 2 years. Over 2020 to 2022, early 2022. But when restrictions were lifted, people flocked to the malls. In the Philippines, we really do have a mall culture. And people don't want to spend time at home, I guess. They want to go out and socialize. But yeah, we saw a big increase in resurgence in foot traffic, which is good because we have all of these beautiful stores and all these very well-educated staff who are ready to help you. So it's good to get them back in and be able to interact with each other. But at the same time, e-commerce is here to stay. I think that's a no-brainer. When the pandemic hit, like I said, we got this up, our Shopify up in 2 weeks.
It's amazing.
But we've been talking about it for like, I don't know, 5 years at most. But we managed to get everything put together in 2 weeks. And yeah, so I'm very happy with the Overdose team. We've been working hard to upgrade it from that 2 week cobbled together mess.
Oh, I mean, it did amazingly well, right? From something that you put together in 2 weeks and met the needs of your customer base. But then it got to how now it's about the experience, right? Translating that in-store experience.
Yeah, and there's still a lot to do. I mean,
yeah.
I know our members they have a lot of problems with the system, and I have problems with it too, but we are working to solve them. We do want to further integrate and improve the experience online.
Of course. I mean, I think you're talking about, what you're doing online. I know loyalty is a huge thing for you, for your customers, right? So you definitely want to reward your customers. And it totally makes sense because, Healthy Options, we'd imagine it's not a place where you go there once. You would repeat purchase and therefore rewarding your customers. So, your customers really value and engage with the loyalty and rewards program that you have at the moment. Is that that's really successful do you find more so in Philippines than, is that part of the expectation of the culture there, or is something that's new and different for them?
I think we've always had a good loyal base of customers. I can't really say for other businesses, but we've always had a very good ratio of repeat purchasing top tier members, and that's who we always have to make sure that we take care of them. And that's why we want to get our membership benefits to be 100% what you can experience in the store, you can also experience online.
Yeah, no, that's in the works for sure. Okay, so we've got some questions coming in. So this is from Farid. Hi, Sean. Different people are going to be having different diet and different goals in life in regards to their health and well-being. Do Healthy Options have a vision on how to take personalization to that next level and unifying the offline and online experience?
Okay, thanks, Farid. I'll try to answer your question. So definitely we do want to improve the online experience. We do want to have more personalization. Oh, the question is gone.
Oh.
Where do I see that?
So the question was, yeah, thank you.
There we go. Do we want to have different diet goals in life? Yeah, as much as possible, we do try to cater to diets, the major diets. So if you see on our shop, we do cater to keto-friendly diets, vegan-friendly diets, aka plant-based now is the new buzzword. Vegetarians, dairy-free, gluten-free, sugar-free, low sodium. I mean, you can find it all in Healthy Options. So definitely you can find it online. And if you can't in store as well, you can always ask one of our customer advisors.
Awesome. And then do you have a vision, personalization to the next level? I mean, I think, personalization, I mean, you guys are we've got Nosto on your site, right? Which is, AI powered sort of recommendations, personalization. So I guess, that's something that you are already implementing. How are you finding that, I guess? It's a new thing that you've done.
Yeah, it's the issue is integrating the ERP. So we do have this bank of membership data. We just need to be able to tap into that. I think that's the next step. That's the next project I'm looking forward to working with you guys once we get our ERP migrated and integrated to the e-commerce side.
Awesome. So I think the answer there, Farad, is watch this space. Okay, we've got another question that's come in from on LinkedIn. So hi, Sean and Tammy. Great topic touching on sustainability and supporting healthy living in the Philippines with healthy options. Whilst Filipinos are being more health conscious and into a fit lifestyle, which healthy option products would you recommend for someone starting into, I think it's starting into shift? Shifting to
a healthier lifestyle,
yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends on your goals as well. I mean, I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a doctor. So please consult with your physician, of course. But it depends. I think sugar is the new enemy. It seems, whether it's even if it's sugar free or what's it called? What do they call artificial sweeteners? I think they're not necessarily as good as they seem to be, but they're definitely better than actual sugar. So I think if you cut down sugar, if you want to lose weight, that's one thing to aim for.
Great. And I think, like you said, right, Healthy Options stocks products for all types of different diet types, like, for example, gluten-free, plant-based. So I think what I'm hearing the answer is, speak to your, consult your medical professional, what's good for you. Or, for some people, for example, have allergies or sensitivities, dietary sensitivities, whatever your needs are, Healthy Options have got products to support that. And I think that from a education perspective, something you touched on is, really important, something that you value and is important to the Healthy Option business is there's a heap of articles and resources on Healthy Options about these particular topics, and really great recipes as well, to which takes into account all these different dietary requirements, I guess.
Yeah, it's like you said, Tammy. We call it a news digest. It's our bi-monthly newsletter that's available online as well, but we do have hard copies in the store. So, they're for free. You can just ask for one, or they might be at the counter. You just grab one. So there's a lot of articles in there to get you started. We get you briefed on what's the latest health news as well. But it all depends on your goals. So if you want to lose weight, then I suggest that there's tons of different ways. I mean, and being more active, physically active, just some exercise, some walking, 10,000 steps a day. I think that's a good start, maybe, outside of diet.
Okay. And, we know that, we've got another question. I will pause my question for a moment. From Sam. So Sean mentioned communicating to the audiences across all demographics, that Gen Z are more fickle since they follow trends and fads. So do you think it's about adapting your values to suit Gen Z, or more about communicating in a way that Gen Z will appreciate your brand more?
Thank you for the question, Sam. So I think, definitely, I'm sure values do change over time, but I think our values are pretty solid. I don't think they really need to adapt to any changes. So we do need to change the way we communicate with them, though. We need to reach them where they are. So I think that will be the challenge now, to try and get some attention from them.
Awesome. Hope that answers your question, Sam. So question I had was, one of the things that you do stock is like baked goods, right? So, me personally, whenever I get baked goods, I want to eat it like right there and then. So any plans to have an in-store cafe, and that sort of experience? You do?
We do. Sorry. So our bakery is called Baking Therapy. We opened that in 2019.
Awesome.
And that's in our largest store in Uptown, if for anyone who's from the Philippines, Uptown Mall. So that's our Baking Therapy cafe. We do have like retail products available in other stores, but it's only in Healthy Options Uptown where we have a cafe where you can sit down, order coffee, and have eat it there.
That's great. I definitely need to visit the Philippines and come and
Yeah,
see
no
that
worries.
particular store for sure. That's awesome. So that's something new. I didn't know about that, about healthy options. Okay, we've got another question from Darren. Yeah, keep the questions coming. Thank you, guys. So I'm curious to know what the health awareness trends are like in Asian countries and how they compare to those in Western countries. Additionally, which countries do you believe have the greatest potential for healthy options to enter a new market?
Okay. Thanks, Darren. I can't speak for what the health awareness trends are like in other Asian countries. Um, I'm sure places like maybe Singapore or Japan or South Korea, I think they have different health awareness trends, but I know that just off the top of my head, I know that the Japanese diet, I mean, they tend to live longer, don't they? So they must be doing something right. Maybe you can try to emulate that diet, or maybe their activity, their active lifestyle. They walk to work every day. How they compare to Western countries, I don't want to generalize. So I'm not an expert in that field either. But the greatest potential for healthy options to enter a new market, we have been thinking about that, but nothing concrete yet. I think that's a whole new beast to try and conquer, and that's something for the future for sure.
And you definitely have plenty to keep you busy in the
Oh,
Philippines right now, anyway, right?
definitely.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay, repeat question or repeat person asking questions. Sam, do you do any fitness partnerships, like partner with marathons, gyms to cross promote? It's a great question.
We haven't so far. We've been a bit too strict on that, but we have been very strict with who we partner with because we need to align our values. But so far, none yet.
Interesting. So, I mean, the values being healthy lifestyle, activity, fitness. I'd imagine that there should be quite a number of partners that might fit that mold with you, and a good fit. So, okay, maybe something to think about. Okay, question from Farid. How about gamifying user experience? Any plans to gamify your loyalty program, like you mentioned? Like 10,000 steps, free delivery. Wow.
Definitely something to consider as well. Gamifying. I'd be open to see what kind of plans are available, or what can be proposed to try and gamify the loyalty experience. But I don't want it to be too gimmicky. That's the thing. I don't want to force people to walk 10,000 steps for free delivery. Maybe because we do have a lot of customers who are on the older side. I don't want grandma to be outside trudging through the streets to get free delivery.
They can get their grandkids to do that. That's what they're there for. They know what you want already. They put their order through online or a wish list. The grandkids do the steps and pick up the
So they're
shop.
definitely interesting, something to do. To try, as I think, especially for Gen Z who maybe have shorter attention spans, that would be something to keep them interested.
Okay. Cool. So Yestin's got a question. Reflecting on your omni-channel journey, what has been the biggest unexpected challenge you have encountered so far?
Ooh, that's a good question, Yestin. What's been my biggest unexpected challenge? I think the biggest unexpected challenge was probably my lack of understanding of our legacy systems and how difficult and tricky it can be to untangle that and try to upgrade them and bring them to cloud. Without getting into too much detail, I think that I thought everything would be a bit easier when it comes to technology, but it can be quite tricky.
Yeah, it is a work in progress. So again, watch this space. But okay, yeah, no, and I understand the challenges that you're facing, but I think that there is light at the end of the tunnel, so that's always good. It's just the next phase, the next evolution. Thank you for that. No, keep the questions coming. So for anyone who's sort of just tuning in now, we are on episode 130 of Overdose and Chill. When we're talking today to Xiu-Juin, who's head of Omnichannel of Healthy Options based in Manila, Philippines. So we've got another question here from LinkedIn. Which online channel works best for Healthy Options into tapping new and returning consumers? Do you find attracting more people online or in store?
Well, we only have two online channels right now for social media, so that's Facebook and Instagram, and they seem to work pretty well. I mean, there have been a lot of changes to data privacy, which has made it trickier to track performance of ads at least. But in terms of organic engagement and traffic, I mean, they are working for us and we're happy with them. In terms of for both returning and getting new audiences, new followers, do we find attracting more people online or in store? Trickier to try and track in store, apart because we don't know who's walking in and who they are. It's not like we have facial recognition. That's something that would be interesting in the future. But definitely, I think the plan for physical is to open more stores because right now we're more densely located in Metro Manila in the capital, and we have around 6 stores if I'm not mistaken outside of Metro Manila in Visayas and Mindanao. So we do want to further expand because the Philippines is an archipelago. It's transport is a challenge. It's an opportunity as well to meet our customers where they are. So that's opening stores and having click and collect would be, I think, very useful for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, Philippines is huge, right? And like you said, transport is an issue. And some of the time, some of the products that you sell have, like fresh goods. There is a supply chain, process that needs to ensure the quality and standards that reaches your customers. So I understand, on the site that we have implemented sort of delivery restrictions, right? Certain products are only for Metro Manila. So with the opening, was like you said, the plan of, opening more stores, will that essentially solve that issue where those customers who are outside Metro Manila can still have access to the same product range that that's only currently available for people in Metro Manila?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the
Yeah.
plan?
So when we open stores, it'll have the full range. But I mean, obviously, opening a new store, it's a big effort, and it only encompasses the immediate local area. So we click and collect, I think, would be a godsend for us.
Awesome. Okay. So I guess in terms of, it's always interesting to hear plans, right? So plans to potentially open more stores. Sounds like you may be considering some sort of gamification with this new sort of tidbit of ideas that's come in through this session. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Is there sort of any sort of other insights that you've been in this business a while? It's a family-run business as well. I'm sure there's a lot of learnings that you've had over the years. Sort of any sort of interesting sort of insights that you have about the industry or running online in the Philippines. Balancing out with this mall culture. So where do you see Healthy Options going?
Well, I don't see Healthy Options going anywhere. I think we're here to stay. Hopefully, I think what's really kept us going is the integrity and staying true to your values. So, clean ingredients. If it's good for you, it's good for the planet.
Awesome. But in terms of, I guess, when I say going, definitely not going anywhere. But what sort of new adventures? Yeah.
I think we're gonna be opening a lot of stores, and I hope that we can get things like click and collect. So I want to improve the online experience, definitely, and have more of our product range available online. So like you said, we can't deliver like frozen items outside of Metro Manila because we're in a hot country and it'll melt. But or maybe some good news. I think if it's not available yet, in a few weeks' time or a few days' time, we will have ice cream available for online delivery within Metro Manila.
Wow. And these ice cream, I'm sure, have been, the product's been curated all to those values that you mentioned.
Oh yes, so our regular ice cream range that's in store will be available online.
For delivery. Okay, got
We
it.
found a way.
That's great. Awesome. So for those healthy options customers in Metro Manila that love the ice cream but haven't been able to order online, watch this space. It's coming in a little while. Okay, in terms of maybe talking about the product range, because like you sell all sorts of stuff, so food, grocery. What's your highest, most popular product range that has just been sustained over the years? Everyone keeps coming back for.
I mean, we started with supplements, so I think that's what's really like the, what do you call it? It's what everyone comes back to, supplements. We have a lot of customers who have dietary requirements or some health conditions, and supplements are the way that they use to maintain their health.
Okay, great. And it's interesting that your brand is healthy options, but I think from where you stand is it's almost like healthy is not an option. It is the only option, right? But I think that the brand is more like saying you've got so many options for being healthy, but healthy is definitely not an option, right? Healthy is your must-have, and yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that?
We have things like sweets or candies. They're not necessarily healthy, but they are a healthier option than having candies that are filled with artificial ingredients. At least we have organic cane sugar in this and no artificial colorings or flavorings. So it's still a healthier alternative, but it'd be best if you could steer clear from them. But if you have kids and they want something sweet, I guess it is still a better option.
It's still a better option. All right. And so can I take it a little bit personal now? What's your favorite? What do you buy from Healthy Options?
Ooh, if I told you that, you'd know everything that's wrong with me, though. I do buy a lot of supplements. I take vitamin C. I mean, now especially, I think the Philippines is coming into a wave of COVID. Hopefully not, but I'm boosting up with my immune supplements like vitamin D. Probiotics, I do love. It's good for you. I don't know, my fridge is full of it. So full of Healthy Options products. So whether it's the frozen range or the farm, like eggs, I love getting my organic eggs there.
Okay. And do you ever go to the cafe and just sit there and bask in the experience?
Oh yeah, whenever I have meetings in the area, in BGC, that city, definitely visiting Baking Therapy to get a couple of croissants and gougere. I don't know if you're familiar with gougere. It's a French pastry. They're like little cheese puffs. They're great. Like miniature soufflés.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It's coming up to lunchtime here. It's, getting me going already. Okay. No, that's great that, people might see you at that store, and do people recognize you? Do people know who you are? Do they come and say hi?
I think they do recognize me. A few people do say hello. A lot of people are shy, but maybe I have a bit of a intimidating presence.
No, not at all. Well, not from what I've known anyway. So yeah, definitely people. If you see Sean at Healthy Options, definitely go say hi, and yeah. I want to talk a little bit about you mentioned that you have like this database of your customers and who they are and what they like. And we're talking about, in the future phases is bringing that all into, the likes of say Nosto to help with personalization. Customer data, is there any intention for like a CDP where you sort of like a data lake where you can have all your customer data feeding into all the different tools that we're using, for example, loyalty? Because I think from what I'm hearing, your customers, they have such unique requirements and unique sort of buying habits that delivering a personalized experience is really important for Healthy Options, right? So any plans there?
We have been dabbling. I know my colleague Pearly, our CTO. We've been discussing about having a CDP just to help centralize our data, because it would make more sense and it would be easier to integrate other systems when you have a CDP. So that's definitely been discussed, but I think we're a bit preoccupied with the ERP, but definitely that's something that we do want to have in the future as well.
Okay, great, exciting to to see what how Healthy Options online and the customer experience, both online, sort of evolves in the next, well, this year, I guess. We hope to see improvements and enhancements this year as we plan to do. Is there anything else that you think you'd like to share or talk about at this stage? Or any sort of questions that you normally get that maybe hasn't been asked that you think people might get value from?
I think we've covered quite a lot. I'm not sure if there's anything missing, but I mean, you can always email me. This is basically my email on the screen. You can see my name at healthyoptions.com.ph.
Oh, it is, right. Sean at healthyoptions.com.ph. All right. So I guess in terms of, we'll probably close now, but thank you so much for joining us today on Overdose and Chill, and for sharing about your business, your vision. And I think, what I really got from that is, the values that you stand for are so important. And, it's just the education piece that you want to do, and the community piece that you're doing at, online and in store. I think it's just remarkable. So we're so happy to be working with you, and just can't wait to see what else we push out in the next few months.
Yep, and looking forward to working with you as well for the next upcoming projects. It's been a great time working with the team. Awesome.
Likewise, Sean. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed this session of Overdose and Chill with Sean from Healthy Options, and we'll catch you next time.
Cheers.